Happy New Year's and welcome back to another episode of Frank's Unsolicited Advice. And I wasn't going to do an episode this week. And I know I say that every week because it's true. I sometimes say like I'm going to take a break and not put anything out for a couple of weeks to give me time to come up with things to talk about. But then I get these little vibes or these messages that come to me from things I hear, conversations I have, and I want to talk about it. Right. So today I knew I had to record. I get up like I do every Sunday while my wife is sleeping. I watch church service at 8:30 because she watches the 10:31. I like to get mine out the way. So therefore, I have the rest of Sunday to do what I need to do. So, okay, I get up. I'm using the bathroom. I'm taking a shower. I have church service playing in the background. And he's talking about positioning, right? And he's going into his New Year's stuff and how it's going to get there. And then he slowly but surely gets to where he wants what the first topic. And it was like 5 talking points. I don't really remember all 5, and I apologize because that's unsat. But I know that we were talking about Luke 19:1-9. So he says, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, He has gone to be the guest of a sinner. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I would pay back 4 times the amount. Jesus said to him, Today salvation has come to this house, because of this man too is a son of Abraham. So this is not a religious lecture, but this is going to lead to where I'm going with positioning. New Year. And everybody, before the New Year's Eve kicks off, everybody sits down and write New Year's resolutions. And then, some people, the biggest ones are always, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to save money, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to be healthy, and a whole bunch of things. So on Saturday, I had training, and we were talking about people that are good with being average and people that want to be great. We talked about how things take time to develop. So sometimes we want things to happen. You start a business, it might take 2 to 3 years to develop and 5 years to have a strong foundation and a good team. And it got me thinking about that. And then it just so happened that on Sunday, the preacher's talking about positioning, and he reads these 9 verses, Luke 19:1-9. And I'm just going to use it as metaphors or as a comparison of where you need to be and what leads for you to be there so that you could be successful, be the best person of you, or that you are. Then I'm going to talk about other things that I think stop us from being great. And it goes, it all relates. So for one thing is, when you want to be successful, you want to be great, are you willing to do what it takes to be successful and be great? They say it's lonely at the top, and heavy is the head that wears the crown. So that means that the people that sit at the top or are the best at what they are, for one, it's heavy, it's hard. You got to maintain it because somebody's always trying to get up next to you. And you lose people along the way because some people don't have the vision that you have. And I'm not saying this in just a general term. I'm talking about in general. Anything that you want to do, not everybody's going to agree with, because some people are okay with being mediocre. Some people are okay with just doing the bare minimum and saying, hey, you know what? I ain't worried about it. I'm good where I'm at. Some people are okay with paying rent instead of buying a house and establishing some kind of estate for their family. Some people don't take out life insurance. They say they don't need it. Then they die, and their family's taking GoFundMe accounts on internet and put it on social media, and everybody's donating to get the funeral costs done. Some people don't realize that the fact that you take the position you want and being mediocre, you set an example to your children and the people around you that look up to you that being mediocre or being average is okay. So we continue a cycle and perpetuate mediocre behavior. So looking at the verses, when he said that Zacchaeus climbed up the tree to be in position to see Jesus as Jesus walking, because he was short, he couldn't see him. Let's stop right there. He needed to be in a certain place to be seen by Jesus. So when you look at that, is what position do you need to be so that you could be great and be seen by your destiny? And then we look at the fact, the preacher says, well, look at the tree. The tree that was established takes about 30 to 50 years for a fig tree to grow into its adult growth. So that means that spiritually, God had to put somebody there 30 to 40, 50 years earlier to plant the seed for that tree to grow. And sometimes we get people that come into our lives, situations that arouse, that come around, opportunities that knock on our door that we're not looking for, that allow us, if we take advantage of it, to be where we are supposed to be, where we were destined to be, and put us in position to be great. But sometimes we don't take a hold of that because we're so worried about what people are going to say, right? If you listen to the verse, oh, he's going to the house of a sinner. I know for a fact I've ventured in certain different side hustles, multi-level marketing companies, and I'd be scared to reach out to my friends and family because I don't want to hear the negativity. And I say negativity because if you've never done it, or you haven't lived through it, or you haven't seen anything bad from it because you never experienced it, then why are you talking negative about it? You know, that's like me when people say, well, Frank, fish is so good. I don't say it's nasty and disgusting. I just say I don't eat it. I don't like the way it smells. So I don't eat seafood. But I've had seafood when I was younger. What I'm saying is I don't eat it now as an adult. So it's not that it's trash to me. I just don't eat it. I don't like the smell. But that doesn't mean that it's not good to other people. We all take chances with stuff. And just because that person does not see the value or see the opportunity in something that you are doing or presenting doesn't mean that it's whack or it's bad. It just means that that person ain't trying to see it, can't see it right now. Maybe they're not in a position in their life to be able to see the opportunity in front of them. So there goes again, the word positioning. We need to put ourselves in the position to be winning and successful, right? If last year didn't teach us anything, this pandemic hasn't taught us anything. It should teach us a few things. One is that what we thought was normal isn't normal anymore, right? What we were once accustomed to, when we can't do anymore. Examples: going to amusement parks without a mask on, being to travel wherever you want without having to worry about coming back with a virus, possibly ending up in the hospital. Let's look at the special moments that we share with our family and friends: birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, retirements. It's taught us that we can't take that for granted, that we should have enjoyed it when we had a chance, because now we can't do it like that, especially if you have high-risk parents or high-risk family members or friends, little kids, a woman that's pregnant in the house. It's just many things that we learn. So we should understand to put ourselves in a position to where we don't have to worry about certain things. Financially, there's a lot of people struggling because they weren't in a position to survive something like this. So let's go back to where, hey, to put yourself in the right position, you can't worry about, and when I mean position, I mean where you're supposed to be in life. We all have a purpose. We all have a calling. And some of us never reach that potential because we allow ourselves to be distracted, guided, persuaded, convinced by others that that's not where we need to be, because we don't really know our worth within ourselves. Right. I was talking to my mom today, and we were talking about, hey, if I have to retire in September, let's say I don't find a job that I want to work in, but I have a family, I have a mortgage, I have kids. And I told my mother, I said, listen, I'm not too proud to go work at Best Buy. Hell, I'll go work at Walmart. But there are some people that think, oh, because I have a degree or because I have 20 plus years in the military and degree, I can't go work at these places. That's beneath me. Maybe because of appearance or ego or pride. But either way it goes, if you have to supply for a family, you're going to do what you got to do to get there, to give your family what they need. So you're going to put yourself in a position where you can win. And sometimes taking that lesser job that you think is lesser in your eyes could propel you to a higher job that will lead you to where you need to be. I always tell people my father was a jeweler for many, many years, which to me, a jeweler, it's something nice. You know, it's one of those jobs where you make good money and my father dressed nice and he was very respected. And then what happens? He leaves a job to run a business at home. That doesn't work. So now he's not working, but he's doing little things here and there to bring money in the house. He's helping. At that time, his position wasn't to be the breadwinner. His position was to be the supporter to my mother. So he helped in the house while we went to school. Made sure we got there okay. Picked us up, brought us home. Until another thing came around. My dad sold hot dogs on Fordham Road in the Bronx. Used to have little food stands. We call them kioscos in the carnivals and back in the projects. Him and my uncles doing whatever it took to bring money in the house. So they took advantage of the opportunities, and they put themselves in a position to win. We're destined to be better than what we are if we don't take advantage of the opportunities in front of us and take a chance. Sometimes, and I've talked about all this in previous podcasts, taking chances, not stopping, keep pushing. Don't allow people to convince you that this is not what you need to be doing. Take a chance. What's it going to cost you? You know, I don't know about other people, but I know I've spent more money on things I don't need that hurt me then I should be spending money on things that help me. And when I say hurt me, I'm talking about, you know, go buy a bottle of liquor for $50 or buy 2 or 3 bottles and now you come home with $150 worth of alcohol. And guess what? That's not going to help me in any way, shape, or form to get to where I need to be. But I just spent it. But then you tell me, hey, Frank, why don't you jump into this program with me? It's only going to cost you $100. I'm like, I don't know. You know, I can't do it. So that's what got me to think about this. In 2021, if you want a resolution, I think a resolution that's fair is for you to be the best person you can be. Be great. Don't allow people to dictate or care what people say about what you're doing to get where you want to be. When I joined the military, I had support, friends and family. Some people don't have that. Some people, the support is minimal. They look at them like, hey, that's stupid. You're going to fight the white man's war. The government, they got you brainwashed. But what they don't realize is the freedom that they have to say that it's not free. It's paid for by the lives of people that went before them to wear a uniform and defend it. And that's another episode and topic on its own. But don't let negativity sway you from being where you should be in life. The opinions of others, that's not going to matter. I gave an example to the training we had on Saturday, and I said, you know, when we start getting to these businesses where we got to reach out to our friends and family and call them, a lot of us start off very reluctant because we don't want to bother. We don't want to come off like, oh, they're trying to scheme me out of my money. But what I've noticed is when somebody wants something from you, they don't hesitate to call you. You know, when their kids got to sell a certain amount of tumblers so they can win a prize at school, a certain amount of chocolates so they can win a prize at school, a certain amount of anything so they can win a prize at school, they'll call you. They'll call everybody. They'll go on Facebook. They'll bring it to work. They'll talk to people they normally don't even talk to do that. And for what? So they can eat. But let you do that, it's a sin. It's against the rules. So, look, in closing, put yourself in a position to win. Take advantage of the opportunities and chances that are in front of you to be in the position that you need to win. And understand that some of those positions have been sitting there waiting for you. Some of that opportunity, I should say, some of those things that you're going to need to get where you need to get to have been sitting there waiting for you to come because they were already predestined. So whether you believe in a God, a higher power, science, whatever, the moon's alignment, the stars, all that, whatever it is that you believe in, then believe that if there's an opportunity, if there's a chance for you out there to do something, put yourself in that position to enjoy it. Happy New Year to all my friends and family, listeners. Enjoy the new year. Take it in. Don't let negativity and obstacles stop us from being great. Again, thank you for listening to Frank's Unsolicited Advice.